Hi there, I'm Tana. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you're new here, I'm guessing you probably clicked on this video because of the title. And if you're not new here, you're probably just wondering, what is the update? Do I have coronavirus or not? So in my last video, I mentioned that I was getting coronavirus tested. And the reason that I got coronavirus tested was because I am a mom to two boys, ages 2.5, and I do have a baby who is 10 months old, and I am a full-time working mom, so my kids do go to daycare. We did try to kind of make things work with our kids at home with us during the day, but honestly, my husband and I were working like opposite shifts. Like I was working during the day and like taking the kids at night, and then he was taking the kids during the day and working at night, and he was coming to bed at like 4 in the morning. I was getting up at 5 in the morning. Like it was honestly crazy, and we just couldn't make it work anymore. So we ultimately made the decision to send our kids back to daycare in the fall. They went back to daycare. My oldest went back to daycare in September, and my youngest started daycare in November. And up until now, it's been relatively fine. There haven't even been any scares at daycare about coronavirus. The teachers are all wearing masks. Our daycare is relatively small. My 2.5-year-old son has 6 kids in his class. And then my baby, like for a while, I think there were only like 3 or 4 infants. Now I think they are up to like the max number, which I think is 5 in that age group. But anyway, they're relatively small classes, and they only have 3 classes total at the school. So the number of students is pretty low. Fast forward to December 21st and 22nd, Monday and Tuesday, my kids went to daycare as normal, and I worked as normal. Daycare closed for winter break on Tuesday at 5 p.m. So we picked our kids up, and then they were home with me all day on Wednesday, and I pretty much just cleaned my whole house that day. I played with them. I had taken the day off of work, and I'm actually fortunate enough that I'm on like vacation from work this week because I get holidays between Christmas and New Year's. So I was lucky because I didn't have to worry about working and having them home with me. On the 23rd at 11 o'clock p.m., we get a text from daycare. I just got a message from daycare saying that an infant tested positive for COVID-19. So since it's an infant, I know that it's in Theo's class. And this infant has not been at school since the 18th, which would have been last Friday. So I'm taking this video, and I'm hoping that I will never use this and that I do not have COVID-19. But I'm honestly kind of nervous because I have this congestion, although I thought it was just like a cold. I've been taking garlic and zinc and like, I mean, I'm nursing, so I'm not really taking any like true cold medicine because it can lower your milk supply. And basically this message says that one of the infants in my younger son's class has tested positive for COVID-19. The message said that the child was asymptomatic, which I don't really understand. I didn't at the time really understand that, because why would you test an asymptomatic infant? I had been having some congestion in my head last weekend. So it was like Sunday the 20th that I woke up with like a little bit of head pressure, and it was like up here and then like right below my eyes. And honestly, it felt kind of like when you're getting over a sinus infection at the end, or like when allergies are really, really bad. And the weather has been really wonky here. So I thought, okay, maybe it's just because of the weather. I didn't really think too much of it. I wasn't congested yet or anything like that. And it really wasn't until later in the week that I started to notice that my voice sounded a little bit funny and that my nose was not running, but it was like a little bit stuffy. So on the 24th, I dragged my husband out of the house to go get tested. And at first we were just gonna get the kids tested, but the only place I could find that would test them on Christmas Eve was about 45 minutes away. My pediatrician was totally not helpful. Like, I'm probably gonna switch pediatricians. That's how unhappy I was when I called. But I just couldn't find anyone to test my kids. So I thought, okay, well, at least I can get a test. My regular doctor, I did a telehealth visit on the 24th, and they advised that I got tested, but they couldn't actually physically test me until the 28th. So I decided to just go to like a clinic to get tested. I called ahead of time. I spoke to the woman on the phone. I ended up bringing my husband and my kids, got there, and then was told that they couldn't test us. Then was told that they could, but we would have to wait 2 hours. and have like a full urgent care appointment. So that would be like $50 times 4 people, it'd be $200 to get tested. Or they gave me this option where I could like go online and I could talk to someone virtually, like over a telehealth visit, and if they approved me to get tested, I just had to go next door to the testing tent and like get tested, and it would take no longer than 15 minutes. So I ended up going for that option. Now I will also tell you that it was a pouring rain, so like I was running in and out of the clinic while my kids and my husband were in the car. And ultimately, like, I ended up being in this like online queue for 45 minutes before I talked to someone. And then when I talked to her, she did advise that I got tested, but she was not able to help my husband or my kids. Like, my husband had to go back through the same queue again. He ended up waiting, I think, like 25 minutes. And then we were basically told like they couldn't test under the age of 3. So I went back into the clinic and was like, hey, you gave me the wrong information. Like, can you test my kids? The woman was like so rude to me. She basically was like, who would get their 10-month-old tested? Like, it was just so awkward. She had the doctor come out to me, talk to me. And the doctor was like, we can test him, but you're like torturing your baby. Like, you shouldn't be so worried about it. Like, if you have coronavirus, then like the baby has coronavirus. And so honestly, at that point, I was just like over it. I'd been there for 2 hours. It was just a lot. And so I decided not to get them tested. I just got myself and my husband tested, which that part took like literally 5 minutes. And it's not the kind that like goes back far in your head anymore, at least not here. It was like a Q-tip. Like, she like was like, okay, I'm gonna open the Q-tip and I want you to like take the Q-tip out and just 3 times on this nose and 3 times on that nose, and then put it back in the same exact wrapper that I'm still gonna be holding. And she had me pull my mask down to only here so that I could like do the swab. So it was a self swab. I did it really quick, put it in, and then that was it. Like, it literally took not even 5 minutes. And the woman was so nice. I didn't even have to wait in line. I guess because you wait in the online queue, and then when you get there, they just like take you right away. I didn't have to wait in like another line or anything like that, or like with a bunch of people in a lobby. Long story short, I got tested. So that was the 24th. 25th comes and goes. Well, I wake up on the 25th and like my coffee tastes so weird.
Good morning, universe. I cannot taste my coffee.
Also, while I was cooking dinner on the 25th, I realized that like I couldn't smell rosemary. I couldn't smell so many things. I'm sorry it's so dark, but I'm nursing the baby. It's Christmas. We just had dinner. I could not smell many things while I was cooking dinner. So now I'm officially worried. Still don't have results. I was just shocked at how much I couldn't smell. And then it was late on the 26th that I like ended up hearing from them. And
sorry again for the darkness. I'm positive.
I'm positive, which at this point I was not surprised, because basically like I couldn't smell anything. I was having trouble tasting certain things. That would have been an indication to me, even without daycare saying like, hey, there's a positive case. That would have been enough for me to be like, okay, I need to go get tested. Like, clearly this is not normal. So far, it's like having a cold. I haven't really experienced any of the crazy symptoms that you hear about on the news yet, and I don't necessarily think that I will, because I'm very healthy and I'm in my mid-30s. I don't have any chest pain. I don't have any shortness of breath. I haven't had any like real respiratory issues whatsoever. I had the head congestion, like I said. Like, I guess it incubates and then it starts to like shift down or something like that. And so I guess that would explain why in the beginning I had so much symptoms right here, and then slowly over time it like sort of shifts down into your nose. So maybe it's gonna go to my throat next, I don't know. But so far I know that it's been at least a week since I was exposed to it, because some of the other kids at daycare who ended up testing positive, I'm looking at the calendar, they haven't been at daycare since the 18th. Like, there were a bunch of kids that didn't come on the 21st and 22nd, and all those kids are sick too. So that means that like this would have been going around the daycare like either the week of December 7th or the week of December 14th. I don't know, but probably one of those weeks, probably the week of December 14th, it was like starting to incubate and get passed around. And then it takes so long for you to like develop any kind of symptoms that you just like have no idea that you're like giving it to other people. And you know, obviously we all know this, we've been watching the news for 10 months, but it's kind of weird when it actually happens to you that you're like, oh wait, like I'm a statistic now, or I'm like part of the problem, because I'm telling you guys, I work from home. I don't go anywhere. I shop Instacart. I go to Trader Joe's like every 6 weeks for the stuff that I can only get at Trader Joe's. We go to Costco like maybe every 2 months for like big bulk items. I seriously mostly shop Instacart, Target, like online delivery, and Thrive Market. Like I don't really go many places. Even when I decorated my Christmas tree, like I was ordering like Target ship it to my house. Like I'm all about getting things delivered and like not going out if I don't have to. And so I haven't brought my kids like in any stores, like nothing. So I know that I got this from my kids' daycare, and we'll never know like where it started, because who knows, it could have come from a teacher, it could have come from a parent at work who gave it to their infant, who gave it to my infant, who gave it to me, and then I gave it to my older son and probably my husband. Luckily so far, like everyone that I've come into contact with in the last 2 weeks, I called everybody, which wasn't many people, it was like 4 people, because I did have to like go see my father-in-law one day, and then I like had to go into the office to like check the mail one day. But like everyone I've talked to is negative. But it's definitely one of those things where when it happens to you, you're like, oh my God, I've been avoiding this for 10 months. How did this happen? So anyway, that's the update. I have COVID, and the hardest part right now is just taking care of my 2 small kids who have it too. My husband works for himself, so like he doesn't get any sick days. So pretty much today, like I was just taking care of the kids like while he was working upstairs. And that's a little bit hard because they can be a lot. Like they're at the age right now where like my toddler's not the best sharer, and like he gets in his brother's face and sometimes he pushes him and stuff, and like drives me crazy because I feel like I'm just constantly trying to protect my baby from getting hurt. It can be a lot when you're not like feeling 100% your best. So I had all these things I wanted to do this week while I was on vacation. I wanted to film a bazillion cleaning videos, and I wanted to take down my Christmas decor, and I wanted to just get organized for the new year. And honestly, I don't think any of it's going to happen. If I have any other videos this week, they're probably just going to be COVID related updates for you, because that's probably all I'm going to be able to manage filming and editing this week, but I'll do my best. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye. Stay healthy. Don't get this.